everyone, and welcome to another episode of Kick Pass Punch, where it's me, Malcolm.
And Brian, his dad.
Talking about football and wrestling, because nothing happened in soccer. Really. Not much, I guess. I mean, I guess a little. No, it's not true. Liverpool's out of the Champions League.
Yeah. Ooh. Actually, before we get into football, let's talk about this for a second. Not about Liverpool being out of the Champions League, but about Atletico Madrid being out of the Champions League. Did you see the controversy about this?
No.
They're in penalties.
Mm-hmm.
The last penalty taker for Madrid, who is going to try to keep it level, slips as he's approaching the ball. Right before he strikes the ball, his left foot touches the ball, and then he strikes it with his right foot. The ball does not move.
Oh, it didn't move at all?
No. The ref gave the goal, and then the Madrid's keeper went crazy and started screaming, and VAR ended up looking at it, and they went back and they looked at it, they VAR'd it, and they came to the conclusion that his left foot touched the ball before the right foot struck it, and thus it was 2 touches on a penalty. And they waved off the goal, and Atletico's out of the Champions League.
Even as a goalkeeper, I think it's probably one of the dumbest rules that a double touch is considered just a miss, but a keeper jumping early is a retake. If a keeper jumps early, it should just be a goal.
Wow. That's tough. Probably not very popular in the keeper community with that opinion.
Well, whatever. Just don't jump early then.
I think for me it's the fact that even after it was over, when they went to like post game analysis, the people sitting there still could not agree whether he actually touched the ball or not. I've looked at it. I can't tell. The ball definitely doesn't move though. So what's the difference? You know? All right. Malcolm says, to hell with you goalkeepers.
Hey. Nuh-uh. That's not what I said. Just said something that made it seem like that.
All right. So the free agent carousel continues in the NFL.
Mm-hmm.
Legally, I think people can start signing now.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Right, as of 4:00 today.
Teams can officially start signing people.
Okay.
Pretty sure it was yesterday, but yeah.
So, what is your biggest free agent takeaway of this week?
Wide receivers are all over the place for some reason. They seem to be just everyone's moving everywhere. Not necessarily really the young guys, mostly the old dudes. Like not like old dudes, but like older. Like Devontae Adams, Tyreek Hill, Cooper Kupp, who was released by the Rams recently. Who else was there? There was one more. I can't remember who it was. But somebody else, I believe. But 3 really big ones that I can think of right now. And only one of them has signed anywhere. So far.
Why do you think that is?
Oh, and DK Metcalf is now a Steeler.
And that was Steeler.
Which we covered that, but
who's throwing him the ball? Nobody knows.
Rodgers?
I don't know.
Wasn't Rodgers?
He's not signed.
He's not?
No.
Okay.
I
thought I saw something that said he was signed.
Oh, if he was, I haven't seen it yet. I guess it happened in the last couple of hours, maybe. It seemed like it was down. It seemed like it was down to Pittsburgh or the Giants, but I've heard. I mean, again, I don't know whether if he signed it. I guess it doesn't mean anything, but there was a whole big to do this morning about the Vikings. The Vikings entering the chat for Aaron Rodgers. Not to say that J.J. McCarthy would not be starting, but to be, a veteran presence in case something happens. It is a terrible idea, and I love it. Nothing would make me happier than to see Aaron Rodgers sign with the Vikings, for a multitude of reasons. One, I think it would be bad for their organization, which is good for the Bears. And more importantly, he would then have completed the Brett Favre career mode challenge. He would have gone from the Packers to the Jets to the Vikings.
So no, he has not signed anywhere, but he was released.
Yes.
By the Jets.
Yeah. But we all knew that was happening.
First time as a free agent in his career.
I just can't see anybody paying him big money. I mean, if he wants big money, he'd be smarter to sit at home and wait for somebody to get hurt when the season starts. Keep yourself in shape. Go do your ayahuasca, and
go Joe Flacco it.
Yeah, just wait for somebody to get hurt and then hold them hostage. Because I think if he signs now, he's not going to get. He's not going to get a $20 million contract. He's just not.
Well, he's not going to get a $20 million contract if he signs. Wait a minute.
If
somebody's desperate enough.
Somebody's quarterback is hurt in week 1, 2, or 3, and they actually think they have a shot to contend, he's going to be the best guy out there available.
That's true.
If he's not signed somewhere.
Tom Brady.
Tom
Brady back from retirement.
That's kind of, I don't know. I think, is Aaron Rodgers, I mean, he's got to be, as much as I dislike the guy, he's got to be one of the top 3 free agents right now.
He's a fraud! No. I don't agree with that.
Who?
Cooper Kupp, I think is one. Who else? There's definitely 2 above him, because especially after last season. God, why can't I remember his name?
It doesn't matter. Speaking of wide receivers, though, where's Davante Adams now?
The Rams.
The Rams. Who's their backup quarterback?
I don't know.
Jimmy Garoppolo. You ever watch the footage of when Davante Adams was mic'd up when Jimmy Garoppolo was his quarterback for the Raiders?
Mm-hmm.
That is wild that they're back together. And, that they were one injury away from... he was like, that guy's going to get me killed out there.
Mm-hmm.
But an interesting stat.
Hospital pass.
An interesting stat, speaking of Davante Adams, that I learned today. Davante Adams, for the last 4 years in a row, has been the wide receiver with the most inaccurate passes thrown his way. Over 60% of the passes thrown his way have been uncatchable.
Oh, that's bad.
Yeah.
I thought you meant like the most number of uncatchable passes, and I was going to say that's because he was wide receiver number 1 in Green Bay. Aaron Rodgers really didn't throw to anybody else. And then he was wide receiver number 1 in Vegas, too. And I think he's going to be number 1 or 2, depends on where they put him versus Puka Nacua on the depth chart in LA.
Okay. I just thought that was interesting. That I think they said something like last year, Davante Adams' reception rate was really low, and he had 0 dropped passes. 0. Every pass that came his way was either defended or just not even close to him. So
okay,
we'll see.
That's something.
Yeah. So we have Kenny Pickett. starting for the Browns.
Dumb.
Um,
What are they going to do with the second overall pick?
Well, they could still. I mean, they could still take a quarterback.
One of world's greatest memories. Questions.
The Browns were so close to being good like 2 years ago.
Yeah.
And now
they're buns.
Now they're terrible. Like they've got to be an early season or preseason favorite to be the number 1 pick next year.
They're trash. Yeah.
It's crazy. It's like the 76ers. Like it's just insane how they went from so much potential and promise being right there on the cusp, and it completely falling apart. It's almost like they just, took $250 million and set it on fire. It ruined their team.
They did.
I know. That's what I mean. Like
they gave it to Deshaun Watson.
That contract was
That's a fire.
A mess.
It's a fire.
Such a mess.
Whatever. I don't even.
So do you think that Kenny Pickett is actually the starter for the Cleveland Browns on day 1? On, like, opening day of the season?
I don't know. Probably.
I don't think so.
Well, who are they going to take?
I don't know.
Because Tennessee's taking Cam Ward. Is Shadur good enough to be number 2?
No.
But will he be number 2?
Maybe.
If they're that desperate.
How do you look at your fan base and say, we had a shot at a top-ranked quarterback, and we didn't take him because we have Kenny Pickett? That's telling your team.
You present Abdul Carter.
That's telling your team and your fan base that you are not trying to win this year. You're not trying.
No, you present them Abdul Carter to pair up with what's his name? Myles Garrett. What's going on your phone?
Messages, probably emails coming in. All right. Drew Dahlman. Completing the complete revamping of the interior offensive line. You can't say the Bears haven't gone to work in the trenches. They certainly have. They've retooled the offensive line, defensive line. It all looks good on paper.
Mm-hmm.
So, what I thought was unimaginable all those years ago when we did the first episode of this show.
Oh, yeah. All of those years ago. Wasn't at all less than 2 weeks ago.
Yeah. I said, I think I might have said that it might be a fireable offense if they took a running back in the first round.
Mm-hmm.
And now I think if he's there, if he's available,
they might take a running back.
They might take him. Because, it comes down to the same kind of thing I was just saying, right? If you've already retooled your offensive line,
mm-hmm.
and you have a potentially generational running back sitting there.
Not potentially. He is generational.
Well, there's a lot of people who were good in college that didn't translate to the pros.
That's true.
See, Mitch Trubisky.
Johnny Football.
But, if he is LaDainian Tomlinson.
He's the best running back ever. The best college football running back ever.
Where does he go to school?
Boise State.
Who do they play?
I don't know.
That's the point.
Man,
he's not putting up these numbers in the SEC.
He's their whole team, though. He's literally their entire team.
I know.
During that playoff game, they played terribly through the air. It was just handed off to Genty, and he's getting stuffed. His O-line is, Boise State's O-line, terrible. Their quarterback, terrible. Their wide receivers, meh. Mostly terrible. No offense to Boise State's whole team. But, no offense after I just said their entire offense was terrible. But he's working with nothing.
Right.
And he put up 2,500 yards. Which, he is their whole offense, so you kind of got to expect really high numbers when their entire offense is just hand the ball off. But he averaged 7 yards per carry.
So, did the Bears overpay for Drew Dahlman?
No.
No?
No.
Okay.
I don't even know what they paid him, but no.
3 years, $44 million, I believe.
Yeah, no, they did not overpay him.
I think they might have, but I don't care. It's not my money. I mean,
sure. We still have.
He was
70 million.
the best center available, and so we went and got him. So anytime you have a position you're not good at and you can upgrade that position, if you got to pay premium, you got to pay premium.
Yeah, that's true. So the Bears and Tyreek Hill possibility. Do we think it's a possibility?
No.
Why not? Roughly, what would we have to give up? Probably like a third. A third for Tyreek Hill. Who says no?
I mean, I'm not sure. Well, okay, there's a couple reasons why I think the answer is no for the Bears. One, I think Ben Johnson is trying to do the building a culture thing, and I'm not sure that Tyreek Hill isn't a bit problematic, a bit of a diva.
That's fair.
Two, we have our young stud wide receiver, right? He's already, behind DJ, right? And if you bring in Tyreek Hill, now you're making him wide receiver 3 and stunting his development. You're again limiting the touches that he gets in order to keep Tyreek and DJ happy. So that's why I think you have Rome. Caleb and Rome, they have good chemistry. They work well together. Let them fly. Let them blossom. Let them grow.
Yeah.
And I think Tyreek Hill gets in the way of that.
Okay. I mean,
if you want to bring in a Keenan Allen type, a veteran who is going to be your number 3 guy, sure.
Yeah.
Bring in Cooper
Like
Kupp.
Cooper Kupp.
Yep.
Yeah.
100%. Bring in Cooper Kupp. I have no problem with that.
Yeah, Cooper Kupp sounds good. I think that's a good option for us. And then take Genty and have the most stacked skill positions in the league.
Yeah, I mean, the Bears were higher than last year too, but
Caleb Williams drafted into the best position a rookie quarterback starting ever has. Except his coach is terrible.
And he's behind a terrible offensive line.
Yeah.
Ooh.
But mostly Matt Eberflus is terrible.
So let's run down some pro wrestling stuff.
Okay.
What do you got?
Stefanie Vaquer is a double champion.
What are your thoughts?
For the women's NXT. I think it's cool. I think it's good. Julia clearly needs some time off.
I think that's true, but I actually heard the reason it was kind of rushed this way is I think she has a visa issue. I think there was a deadline. She wasn't going to be allowed to keep working in the U.S. She's got to go back to Mexico or Japan and get something straightened out. So I think she literally has to leave the country.
Oh, she literally has to go away.
I think so. Or maybe she can stay, but she can't work, right? I think that's why I think they rushed into it. I don't know that that's true, but that's what I heard today. Is that, yes, she has an injury that she's dealing with, but the reason this happened right now the way that it did is because of a visa issue, which is good, because that means she could be back sooner rather than later. Mm-hmm. And plus she can rest up and heal that injury, whatever it is.
I don't think Stefanie Vaquer was the right person to drop that title to, though.
Why?
Because they've now put the mid-card championship and the main event championship on the same person, and that effectively defeats the purpose.
I think they'll get one of them off real quickly.
I think they will get one of them off her, but how? Stand and deliver? It's got to be at stand and deliver. They've got to do a ladder match to split the titles. It's got to be what it is, right?
Or make her defend both of them on the same night. And she just
in
loses
2 separate matches?
2 separate matches.
She just loses one of them?
Yeah, or you do the thing, WWE has done this a number of times, where you do a triple threat, and the first whoever gets the first pin gets the women's title. Whoever gets the second pin, or whoever gets the first pin
Gets the North
American Championship. Whoever gets the second pin gets the world title.
But all three people keep competing.
No, you're out. It becomes a one-on-one. Yeah.
Okay, well then you've got to put the first pin is for the NXT Women's Championship, and then the second pin is for the North American Championship, because everybody's gonna all three of them are gonna want to get to the second round.
Yeah.
To get to the Women's Championship, none of the three of them want the
Well,
whatever championship.
I hear you, but also having one of them is better than having neither of them.
That's true.
So, all right. So I mean, the fact is though that the women have a stacked roster, and they could have found a different way to do that. I just don't think they couldn't have Stefanie drop the North American and beat Julia in this short amount of time. And I don't think there was somebody they wanted to elevate over Stefanie. So that's kind of, I think, how their hands got tied.
Yeah, I mean, I think they could have. I mean, they probably can't because it's a quick visa issue, if it is. But they could have set up a story with Jordan Grace and had Jordan Grace take it off her. I mean, I guess it is pretty soon. Like, that's really quick to give her the title, but they did that with Jade. They gave Jade the title really, really fast. The tag titles.
Yeah, but that was tag titles. It's a little different.
Yeah, the women's tag titles are not.
And then they literally took it off of her without her even losing. They just were like, actually, we're just going to put someone else in as champ now.
Well, yeah, but after like 6 months.
Yeah.
They lost them. No, they did lose them. They lost them, then they won them back.
Oh, that's right. They did win them back.
At Clash at the Castle.
That's true.
Which is now Clash in Paris?
Yeah.
Is that what they're calling it
I don't
now?
know what they're calling it. Before we get off the women, Toni Storm, Mariah May from the AEW pay-per-view was amazing. You can't watch it.
So, here's the story behind this. I've been banned from watching AEW because we watched the, what's it called? AEW's version of War Games, pretty much. I don't know what it's called. Blood and Guts?
Blood and Guts, yeah.
And my mom came down in the middle of it, and they were stapling each other. And she was like, nope, no more of this.
Well,
pretty much.
Tony and Mariah May put their taped hands into glass and started punching each other.
Well, see, don't tell mom that.
I know. But it was, despite the gratuitous violence, the story that they told in the match was amazing. John Cena,
Cody.
Not coming to America, but doing the shows overseas. Cody, I thought, played that perfectly. It was hilarious.
He's going to be in Brussels, but he's not going to be here in Madison Square Garden?
Correct. Loved it. I love everything that's happening with it right now. I love that John Cena's still out there putting his inspirational quotes on
Is
Twitter.
He really?
Yeah.
Well, because people that don't watch wrestling don't know that he's a bad guy.
I said today, I think it was today, he said, if you try enough times, you will get it right. If you practice hard enough, you won't get it wrong.
Tomorrow should just be give up. Give up.
So did I tell you? This is totally a stolen idea. But somebody suggested that they should sell his T-shirts. Only they should, instead of hustle, loyalty, respect, they just add an R so it says hustler, and then they cross out loyalty and they put no respect.
I was just thinking about the shirt. I was gonna cheat.
No, it's too close to Eddie Guerrero's Light, Cheat, and Steal, what you're trying to do right now.
It's true. Yeah, I knew cheat was a little too close to Eddie Guerrero.
Yeah.
I wasn't sure though. We could do something else there, and then backstab, and then disrespect.
Yeah.
Something. Backstab. Disrespect.
So gotta wrap it up. But was Cody Seth the best cage match? Not Cody. Punk Seth the best cage match WWE has put on since you've been watching?
Depends. You mean steel cage match or just cage in general?
Ooh, are you trying to see if you can include War Games?
I'm trying to see if I can include Hell in a Cell.
Oh, because you're gonna put Punk Drew up there, aren't you?
Punk Drew, Cody Seth are two that are up there too.
Cody Seth isn't as good as you remember. It's the injury.
The injury makes it look good.
Yes.
But also, nobody, like, if you ask somebody in maybe in like May or June who actually won that match, I guarantee that nobody will be able to tell you. Because it was overshadowed. The fact that Seth won was completely overshadowed by Roman pulling him out of the cage and stomping him out, and then stomping him, and
that's true.
All that. So I mean, it was a great match. The ending was spoiled, though.
It wasn't spoiled. It was fantastic.
It was fantastic, but the finish of the match was not a pin or an escape. Technically, it was getting pulled out of the ring.
So just straight up cage matches this weekend, or in the 24 hours, we had Kyle Fletcher and Will Ospreay, and Punk and Seth, and they were both fantastic. I think Fletcher was probably better, more probably because there's a definitive winner. But
that was Ospreay, right? Ospreay won that match?
Yeah.
I know some stuff.
I know nothing. I just have opinions.
No. You know AEW.
All right.
You know pro wrestling. I know everything else.
All right, we gotta get out of here. Wrap it up.
All right. Don't forget to like and subscribe. And remember, Kevin is always right.